The women who can't shift the last 5 kilos aren't the ones skipping sessions. They're the ones training 4 times a week, running a career, a household, or both. Look, you're consistent. You hit your protein, you know what you're doing in the gym, but the last 5 to 10 kilos have sat there for months and you genuinely don't know why. That's a programming problem. Your plan was built for someone with a different schedule, a different stress load, and a different life. And it stopped working the moment yours got more complex. Think about the hours you've put into this. 4 sessions a week, meal prep on Sundays, tracking every macro. That's 50 plus hours in the gym over the last 6 months, and the scale has barely moved. That time had a cost. Early alarms, saying no to things, prioritizing training when your week was already full. And the return on that investment has been close to zero. The effort isn't the issue. Where that effort is going, that's the issue. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 programming gaps I see over and over in women who train consistently, eat well, and still can't shift the last 5 to 10 kilos. These are structural problems in how your training and tracking are set up. And once you see them, they're straightforward to fix. One of our clients, Kirsten, a banking executive, early 40s, came to us stuck in exactly this position. Training regularly, eating well, no idea why nothing was changing. She dropped 15 kilos over 6 months. Same lifestyle, same demands, different programming structure. I'll walk you through what changed for her later in the video. The first thing, and this shapes everything else, is how your program talks to your calendar. Your program probably looks the same every week. 4 to 5 sessions, same volume, same structure, regardless of what's happening in your life that week. Here's the problem. You might have 3 weeks at home with a stable schedule, then a week of interstate travel or back-to-back client dinners. Your program treats every one of those weeks identically. Your body doesn't. When you have a stable block, 3, 4 weeks with consistent sleep, consistent meals, consistent recovery, that's when you push. Higher training volume, more steps, taper up week by week, build momentum when conditions allow it. You've got a travel week, conference week, do 2 sessions. You can still get stronger, protect your sleep. The goal for that week is to arrive at the next stable block recovered and then ready to push again. There was a study a couple of years back that looked at exactly this. Women who varied their training load week to week saw significantly better body composition results over 12 weeks than women on a fixed program. Same total work, but it was just better distribution because their loading matched what their bodies could recover from. Your program needs to flex with your calendar. When it doesn't, you either overtrain in hard weeks or you end up undertraining in easy ones. Both stall progress. If this is landing for you, there's a lot more where this is coming from. I put out new content every week on training and nutrition for women who train seriously. Subscribe so you don't miss it. The second thing is your rep range. And this one is almost always invisible until someone points it out. If you've been training in the 8 to 12 rep range for the last 3 or 4 months straight, your body's adapted to that stimulus. It's done responding. You've squeezed everything out of that rep range and you're running the same signal on repeat. After a hypertrophy block, you need a strength phase. Drop to 6 to 8 reps. Heavier loads, maybe a lower total volume, 4 to 6 weeks there, then come back to the higher reps and you'll be stronger when you do. You can load more at those higher rep ranges. The hypertrophy stimulus is actually fresh again. Progress restarts. Most programs camp you in one rep range forever. Yours probably has. And the plateau you're experiencing is your body telling you it needs a different demand. This is exactly what happened with Kirsten. Early 40s, senior role in banking, 2 kids. She'd been doing group classes 3 times a week for over a year, working hard every session, but the programming never changed. Same format, same rep ranges, same energy system. She was confused and frustrated because she was showing up and doing everything asked of her. We stripped it back. 3 structured full body sessions before work, planned around her actual week. Not a generic split. A base meal structure she could follow without weighing every ingredient. 7,000 steps a day, that was it. Kirsten dropped 15 kilos over 6 to 7 months. School holidays with the kids, she knows exactly what to adjust. There was no guessing, no guilt, no falling off. The shift wasn't more effort. It was just applying a better structure. Third is data, specifically the decisions you're making without it. You're probably making decisions about your nutrition based on how you feel, how your clothes fit, what the scale said on Monday versus what it said on Friday. Without consistent data, you end up changing things that were already working or keeping things that stopped working weeks ago. Here's what I would suggest. Weigh yourself daily for 2 or 3 weeks. Same time, same conditions, first thing in the morning, after the bathroom, before food. You're looking for the pattern, not the daily number. You'll notice Thursdays and Fridays tend to be your lightest. Saturday and Sunday may be more heavier, but that's glycogen and water from the weekend. Totally normal, irrelevant on their own. What matters is your weekly average. If that average is trending down by 300 to 600 grams per week, it's definitely working. Just leave it alone. Don't change a thing. Add a mid-thigh and waist measurement every 2 weeks. That catches the body composition shifts the scale misses, especially if you're training hard and holding more muscle. Only make adjustments when you've genuinely stored. 2 to 3 weeks of flat averages with no measurement changes. Until then, the plan's doing its job. Just let it go. There was actually a study back in 2015 that found women who weighed themselves daily lost significantly more weight than those who didn't. Not because the scale does anything magic, but because the data removes the guesswork. You just make better decisions when you can see the trend. The fourth thing is the question nobody around you is asking. Look, you run a team, you manage people, you make high stakes decisions every day. And in every other area of your life, someone's reviewing your work. A board, a client, a business partner. With your training and nutrition though, nobody's asking you the hard questions. So I'll ask you one now. What are the 1 or 2 things that you already know you could be doing better? Maybe it's the extra glasses of wine on Thursdays and Saturday. Maybe it's the meal you stop tracking on the weekends. Maybe you're at 85 compliance and not telling yourself it's close enough when 95% is where results actually sit. Maybe your steps dropped from 8,000 to 5,000 over winter and you haven't picked them back up yet. Look, you already know what it is. Most people do. That gap between what you're doing and what you know you could do is where the last 5 kilos live. And in most cases, 4 focused weeks of closing that gap is enough to get things moving again. If you watch this far, you already know the structure matters more than the effort. And you've been giving yourself plenty of effort. If you want this done properly, Holly and I can do it with you inside Athletic Studio Live Coaching. Holly's one of my senior coaches and sports nutritionists. Between us, we've got the training and nutrition side covered. Personalized programming built around your actual week. Weekly check-ins, direct access to both of us, and a plan that moves when your life does. You can get started by visiting the link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.